So, hi Akash, how's it going?
Very good, Kushal. How are you?
Good here as well. Thanks for doing this, first of all. I saw your LinkedIn profile a few days ago, and I really liked what you have been doing over the past few years in terms of specifically online, specifically offline, because I come from an online background, digital marketing, I run a marketing agency as well. So, I was very intrigued on the other side of it as well because a lot of brands today go online first, which is a sound strategy to some level, but there are certain pros and cons to it. So I wanted to talk about that. But before I get into it, tell me a little bit about yourself. What have you done so far? What companies have you worked in? Like everything about you.
Okay. So thank you, Kushal, for inviting me to this podcast.
Welcome.
So
Yeah,
currently, I'm working with Aditya Birla Group, right? Working on few brands to be launched soon in coming few months. Right? Before this, I was working with a company called Whiskers. It is owned by Ranvijay Singh, who is MTV roadie star. Right?
yeah.
So built that business from 0 to 30 CR in a year's time. Before that, I was working with the Man Company. Was a
Mm,
part of the initial team itself
mm.
as a founding team member, and built that journey from 0 to 200 crores again. Part of which 60% was the offline business that we were doing.
Wow.
So that journey was for 7 years, wonderful journey from scratch to building around 7 to 8 new channels across that 7 to 8 years. Prior to the Man Company, I had a startup called Xylon Salons.
Mm.
It was basically India's first beauty at home service provider.
Okay.
However, this
Interesting.
was pre-Geo revolution, before F4G revolution, before Google Pay and Paytm, right? So a
Yeah.
lot of leakages in the payment collection. So that did
Mm,
not work out. Prior to which I was working with Procter and Gamble, again in
mm,
the beauty and haircare space for around 3 years. And before I was working with Multi Brand International, again a UK-based FMCG personal care startup. So it's been
mm,
around 15 years in beauty, cosmetics, fragrances industry,
mhm. All offline, right?
all offline.
Okay. Got it. So that's a lot of experience, to be honest, because I've been around for the past 5 years and I've just done online as for now. I'm probably starting a D2C brand as well in the next few months. I'm figuring something
Great.
out, some stuff around that. Yeah. So let's talk about your experience from the Man Company because that's what probably bring you on the map, right? In a way, like you got a lot of experience there, you worked for a lot of years, 7 years in that company. So let's start from
Right.
there. You were the founding member, you joined Man Company. What was it like? How did you guys figure out like what channels to go after, even in offline, even in online? Like what was the strategy around
Okay. So when we started in 2017, right,
it?
there was nothing called as men's grooming, right?
Hmm,
Men's grooming was
hmm,
in very, very nascent stage. I
hmm,
mean, before that, men were using, products, whatever are available in the washroom, maybe used by their moms or sisters or wives. Right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it was very important for us to make understand, basically educate the
Hmm,
consumers why men's grooming is important, why the
hmm,
different product for men's, right? Why need to be well groomed. Right?
hmm,
So for us, initially, it was important to give a lot of experience to the
hmm,
consumers why these products are different and why the different brand is required for you as a man.
hmm,
So initially, when we started offline, how can we, give experience to the consumers? So we figured out. So we initially started with our marketplace model and our own website. So themancompany.com and Amazon and Flipkart.
hmm,
So now, in order to give experience and to expand the business retail, what we thought was let's try and tie up with all the salon chains across India. Okay.
hmm,
So in salon chains, when a consumer is sitting with the stylist, right, he can actually use the products on your skin and your hair. That is when you get the actual experience of the product. And
right.
once the consumer has experienced the product, he may end up buying it in retail also. Right? So what we did was with the existing products that we had available at that point of time, 8 9 years back, we curated few services like shaving services or beard grooming services, right? So we launched a beard spa, right? So everybody was keeping a good beard, but no one knew how to manage it,
mm,
right? Everybody was going for shaving, but no one was going for a shaving which is premium, right? With all the hot towel on your face and all, which can make the service more premium or more luxurious. And even for salons, where they meant more money is services and not retail. So services is their bread and butter, not retail.
mm,
Right? So we created these services through which the consumers came to know about the Man Company, experienced the Man Company products, and then ended up buying the products in retail also through the
mm,
same salon.
mm,
So we tied up with the biggest salon chains across India. So in North India, we tied up with Lux Salons, which is the most premium and the highest number of outlets in North India. We tied up
mm,
with Headmasters, which is
mm,
the biggest name in Punjab. We tied up with Enrich Salons in West India, right?
mm,
Tied up with Bodycraft in South India and Head Turners in East India.
mm,
So in matter of 3 to 4 months, we tied up with all the premium salon chains
mm,
in India. So we wanted to keep the experience very, very premium, not just in terms of the services that we are providing through the Man Company products, but also the overall ambience of the service. Right?
mm,
So it made sense for us to tie up with only premium salons,
mm. All these are unisex salons, right?
all the unisex salons.
Okay, got it.
Right? So we did our business over there for 6 to 8 months, and the consumers understood what the Man Company products are all about and why men's
Mm,
grooming is important.
mm,
And post that, then we started expanding into other channels. Right?
mm,
So post that, we started expanding to modern trade chains. But again, modern trade chains have different formats within it. Right?
mm,
For example, there's a lifestyle format which is called LFR format. You must be aware of these stores like Shopper Stop or
mm,
Lifestyle or
yeah,
Central, which is now Centro after it got acquired by Reliance,
mm,
right?
mm,
Pantaloons. These are all LFR format stores. Right? Then there are store formats like modern trade pharmacy stores, right? Like the Apollo pharmacy chain or MedPlus or Wellness Forever. These are pharmacy chains, right? Then there are supermarket chains like More and other chains that are there in the market right now, which are supermarket chains, Reliance, right?
yeah,
Reliance Mart, right?
yeah,
So we were sure that we want to keep that premiumness, right? After going from giving premium services, we want to now give our products through the premium retail. So we started from top to bottom approach. We first only started went out with our retail formats within Shopper Stop and Lifestyle. And the way we designed our entire kiosk or our retail stand
yes.
or wherever.
Sorry about that. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had a lighting glitch. Let's go. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Right. So the kiosk, the counter, or the retail stand that we curated inside the store of Shopper Stop or Lifestyle was also to give provide services through it, right? So
Hmm.
whenever a consumer used to come, a man used to come to check the products, we used to make him sit in the front of the mirror, right?
Hmm.
And try apply some products on him, maybe some beard product or some mustache product or some hair wax, right? So
Hmm.
that they get a first hand experience to
Hmm.
feel confident that okay, this brand is maybe as good as some international brand in the market,
Hmm.
right? Which is coming from
Got it.
India and then can go international. And
Hmm.
then do retail. Once they like the product, do retailing from the
Hmm.
same counter.
Hmm. Got it. With this, sorry to cut you off. We'll continue from there. But let's say if any brand wants to get into this, right, in modern trade, specifically these big chains like Shoppers Stop, right? How do they get into this firstly? Like if they are a new company, they don't have any contacts, let's say, and they just started out. Do they
Hmm.
need some kind of capital there? Like, what's the process for that?
Okay. Obviously, there is a requirement of capital to get into
Mm-hmm.
it. However, you need to first see whether your brand suits the retail partner's positioning also,
Okay,
right? So,
interesting.
for example, you cannot have a 100 rupees MRP product selling in Shopper Stop, that does not make sense for Shopper Stop also, and maybe will not make sense for you too. So you need to see the right product market fit in terms of the retail segment, right? So if you think your product is mass product, you do not go into shop LFR formats, right? Then you start approaching the Reliance Smart or most of the world, right? But in case, for example, if your product is premium, right, price ranging between 500 to maybe 1,000 and above, when you are masstige and little premium than that, definitely you can target chains like Shopper Stop or Lifestyle or Central. Now, how do you target? Obviously, there are ways. I was blessed by having contacts from my previous experiences. Right? However, the best way to connect to them is through approach them through LinkedIn. Right? Try to connect with people in the industry,
mm,
like me or the other who are already existing in that particular store format. You try to get some contact of the category manager or the category head of that particular category. So if your product is a beauty product, a skincare product, right, then you approach the category manager or the category head of that particular retail chain who takes care of that particular category itself. If your
got it.
brand is into fragrances, then you approach the category head or the category manager of that particular category in that particular chain,
Got
right? And this can majorly this you will be able to get it through connects. So you connect with all different brands
mm,
uh, who are already existing in that particular stores,
mm,
and through
okay.
them move to up to the ladder to get the further connects ahead.
Mm, got it. And it would make sense to connect with brands who are not your direct competitors, obviously, right? Because then there's a lower chance that they would recommend you, right?
Exactly. See, if you get through one, for example, if I connect with some, if I have a beauty brand, if I connect to someone, uh, maybe Fab India, who is there in Shopper Stop, right?
Mm,
And I take a apparel's category manager's contact details, right?
mm,
I connect with that person, speak over the call, WhatsApp, right? He would, what would he say, right? Ki I'm not the right person. This is who,
mm,
and share the contact number of the right person, right? That's the
okay.
easiest way to get the right connect.
Yeah.
So whosoever you can connect through that retail chain, even if you get a supply chain contact, right,
Mm,
supply chain head or a procurement person's contact, you have some contact in that particular chain, and then through them you go to the right category manager.
got it. Okay, so let's continue from where we left on. After that, what did you guys do once you acquired Shopper Stop and stores like these? You went below that, right?
Right. So we started expanding within these three chains. We
Mm,
stayed in this particular format for a year, right? So
mm,
we were there. Now we were there in salon chains and the LFR format of modern trade, right?
mm,
Now to scale the business, you also have to go a more premium, or you have to go a little massier,
mm,
right?
yeah.
So with few of the products which had lesser price points, right, we started approaching the pharmacy chain, the
Mm,
supermarket chains, right, and
mm,
the cash and carry chains, right.
mm,
So what we learned is that instead of going full fledged with in one particular format, let's just try one chain in one format, right?
mm,
So that we do all the mistakes over there, do
yeah.
all the learnings over there, and then expand in that particular format. So within the
Smart.
pharmacy modern trade chain, we approached Wellness Forever, right? They were
Mm,
kind enough to give us space over there, right? Obviously, it comes at a cost of listing fees and monthly visibility fees and everything, right?
yeah.
But at least for a new
So
brand like us, yeah,
for anyone who
sorry.
is new, what is the difference between listing fees and visibility fees? Just to quickly cover
So
that.
listing fee is something that you pay as a one-time entry fee for a chain. Okay. So for example, Wellness Forever had 300 chains when we were entering in their retail chain, right? But they had given the opportunity only to start with top 50 outlets. But whether we are getting into 50 outlets or 10 outlets or 300 outlets, the listing fee remains the same.
Okay, got it.
That's the brand listing.
Mm,
Now, for every chain, it will be a different listing fee. Okay.
okay.
Now, visibility fee is something that you discuss with the category managers on quarterly basis and freeze it to get extra space, extra branding, extra limelight, spotlight within the store.
Okay. like
Getting,
showing your product on the front, for example.
yes, so getting eye level shelf,
Hmm.
right? Getting a
Hmm.
gondola in the store,
Hmm.
getting a touch point
What is
at
a gondola?
a counter.
Okay, what is a gondola?
Gondola, you can say, is a counter unit which is in the
Okay.
center of the store, which wherein brands keep products to experience them.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So to get addition, so you once you get into a retail chain, you will be given a fixed space.
Hmm.
Okay. Now to get additional touch points in the store, you have to take visibilities.
Hmm.
So additional
Hmm.
brandings and additional touch points will take visibility. So these are monthly charges that you can either get deducted from your reconciled payments,
Hmm.
or you can pay it upfront also,
Okay,
depending what the
got it.
policy of the retail partner chain is.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So then what we did is we approached Wellness Forever, got into the pharmacy chains, understood
Hmm.
how the pharmacy chain format operates, did
Hmm.
all the mistakes, all the learnings from there, right?
Hmm.
At the same time, we also got into Reliance Smart, right?
Hmm.
Got into only one supermarket chain, did all the mistakes over there, all the good things over there, cemented our business over there, right?
Hmm.
Then we approached cash and carry format
Hmm.
like Walmart and Metro Cash and Carry, right? Lots. These are the cash and carry chains wherein the general trade customers come and buy from there,
Hmm.
GT store. So we
Hmm.
got into Metro Cash and Carry, right?
Okay.
And we also got into gifting stores like Archie's.
Hmm.
So we
Got it.
just did one chain in each of the format of modern trade.
Hmm. And you figured out
Stayed
like
there.
what works, what doesn't work, and after that
Yes,
you expanded from there in each of these categories.
yes.
Yeah.
Right. So now once we know how the pharmacy chain operates,
Hmm.
what kind of consumer is coming to a pharmacy chain, what
Hmm.
kind of products they buy from a pharmacy chain, right?
Hmm.
Then with that understanding, we launched in all the other pharmacy chains across India, whether it is Guardian Pharmacy, Apollo Pharmacy, Fortis, MedPlus, Planet Health, all the pharmacy chains across India.
Got it.
Similar to that, we did the same workflow in supermarket chains also, in cash and carry format also.
Hmm. Got it. So, from all of your story on the Man Company, especially, I have two learnings that I specifically got from it. Firstly, even the Man Company starting out like years ago, they started with online, right, with marketplaces and their own website, and started building from there. And once they had a little foot on that door, started get some revenue, then they started doing offline, right? So, would you recommend like this is the way to go for any new brand, because it is more like cost effective to not spend too much on offline, because online is way cost effective? Is that the way to go?
Uh, it is true, right?
Okay.
However, you cannot get into offline full fledged at once. That needs a lot of capital. So you very wisely choose the formats that you want to get into.
Okay,
Right? For
got
example,
it.
you must have heard about a brand called Perfora. Right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Perfora is a very heavy D2C channel brand, right?
Yeah.
Their most of the revenue comes from their marketplace model and their own website. Right?
Hmm. Hmm.
You cannot see the brand like in all the modern trade stores and general trade stores. Right? But they are wisely chosen wherever they will be able to get profitable, less with less listing fees they can get into, and with less capex that they can enter. So you have to see someday you have to start getting into offline also, because Indian consumer are still buying their products offline,
Exactly. True.
right? So
Yeah.
it is wise to get into it slowly, but start from day one.
Exactly. And that's where my second learning was that once you start getting into offline, you need to start figuring out like what how these chains work, different kinds of chains work, and how to position yourself there. And as you mentioned, like starting from one store in each of these categories is a smart move, right? Because you learn much faster, and then you won't make the same mistakes on the other chains on the same category, right?
Right. So once you raise your next round of funds, then you actually have the acumen on where exactly I want to expand in within the offline. Right.
mm,
So, for example, we also started the general trade business, right? In 2019 at the Man Company, but we failed miserably,
okay.
right?
Why?
We ran the business. So we operated business for around 6 months, 6 to 7 months, right? We hired the entire team, but we tried to copy on how the old age general trade brands work, right?
Mm,
So you hire the sales officers who can go door to door, store to store, and start selling 20, 30 outlets per day. But that did not try to get into all kind of general trade stores, but that did not work for us. So we closed the business immediately within after the first 6 months itself, right?
mm,
But from all the learnings that we took from there, right, we again restarted the business in 2021. So now we knew exactly what not to do. So when
mm,
we raised the next round of funds in 21, we exactly knew what kind of team we need to have, what kind of general trade stores we need to target,
mm,
so that we don't waste those funds on trying again. So with a
mm,
small team, we started initially in 2019 in general trade, right? We tried to learn from there. Yes, we failed, but from that mistakes, whatever learning we got, when we got the next round of funds, we went successful in general trade.
okay. Nice. What did you guys change from before to after?
Right. So we understood that our product is not meant for all kind of general trade stores, right? It is not meant for a regular kirana store. If it has to be in general trade store, it has to be in the landmark stores of that particular area.
Okay. Like specialty
Okay.
stores in a way?
Specialty stores, for example, for example, the way there are modern trade stores, okay, there are general trade stores also, which are big in size, operate like a modern trade, but are standalone stores.
Mm,
Right?
yeah.
So there are beauty stores as well as such. There are supermarket chains stores also as such. There are pharmacy stores also
Mm,
as such. Right?
got
For
it.
example, if you know Mumbai very well, there's a store called Anupam, which is a stationery store, which is outside
Mm,
under the station.
mm,
Right?
yeah.
So it is similar to Crossword, right? But not a chain.
Yeah.
Right? They have
Got it.
single operated outlet. Does a
Mm,
very good business. Right?
yeah.
So maybe a Tom, Dick, and Harry store will not work for us, right? But if we place our products in Anupam, some gifting products in Anupam over there, it may do very well.
Mm,
So we selected very targeted store approach. We first made the entire list. For example, in Andheri, which stores you want to get into, right? So we made an entire map of Mumbai, plotted around 100 outlets that we want to only be in this 100 outlets for the
mm,
Man Company. We don't want to
mm,
be in 1,000 outlets, right?
got it.
So we selected, stores like Beauty Center, Beauty Palace, Beautiful, Anupam, Natco, all these very hand-picked outlets, and started the general trade journey again. So now you need lesser number of people to manage those 100 stores. You just need one person,
Mm,
right? You maybe just need one ASM for entire Maharashtra now because you have only 100 stores, one person taking care of Mumbai business.
mm,
So again, you can now focus on Pune also with those 100 stores. So we've handpicked all the stores across India. We made a list of 4,000 outlets, and we gave the list to our sales officers that these are the only stores you need to target. You don't have to go to a store at on the left or on the right. All your energy for the first 3 months have to only go in this targeted outlets.
So,
So we have the entire of the general trade across India.
got it. So I have a question here. Let's say if there's a chain, right? And you gave an example there how you reach out to these people on chains, right? You reach out to a category manager there and then you take it from there. But with these small stores, because these are one shop stores, like how do you get there? Like, is there a person who goes there, who talks to a person, tries to build a connection there? And how do you get started with that?
Right. So there is an entire team that works in general trade. Yeah, there is a sales officer who goes to the stores every day. Right. There are ASMs who does market with all the sales officers, probably visiting, hand holding every sales officer once in a week. Right. Then there are RSMs within general trade who does hand holding to the ASM once in a month.
Mm,
Right? So you hire the team who already have some connect with the stores,
Mm. Got
right? So
got
when as the Man Company, it was into men's grooming, right? A skincare fragrance brand. We got people, sales officers from brand which was similar to those brands, but non-competing.
mm. Got it.
A female skincare brand or a female
Got
fragrance brand. So we
got
got sales officers and our ASMs or RSMs from these companies who already had connect with all these stores, so that the entry is at least approaching is not difficult. Obviously, the
Makes
store
sense.
owner will only get convinced when he's convinced about the brand, about the product, and the margins. But at least you know who the owner is
Yeah.
or who takes care of that particular store.
It's a little warmer to reach out to approach them, basically.
Right. So most of the sales officers that we had hired were already working in that particular market for last 5 to 6 years.
Hmm.
So they knew these owners very well.
Yeah. Got
So they can actually go and talk about the brand the next day itself.
got
Maybe converting that from a warm lead to from a hot lead to actual business may take a weeks or a month, but at least you have a direct approachability.
got Yeah. Makes sense. So this is what you did on the Man Company side, right? And
So after general trade, we also started our business in CSD and CPC channels.
okay.
So CSD is the army canteens,
Mm-hmm.
and CPC is the police canteens.
Okay.
Okay, so police canteen, not the state government canteens, state government police canteens. These are actually the paramilitary forces of the army wings, right? The
Mm.
BSF, ITBP, NSG. They have the CPC canteens, and the ones who are directly payroll of the army, they are on the army. They use the army canteens. So
Got it.
there are 3,000 army canteens across India. 3,800 army canteens.
Mm.
There are 1,800 police canteens across India, right?
Mm.
So that's again a universe of around 6,000 outlets that you can target, depending on what kind of brand you have. Right? If it's a very mass brand, you can target a higher number of stores. If it's a premium brand, you target very selectively a few number of stores. Wherein, if for example it's a premium brand or a masstige brand, then you only target the canteens wherein the army officers and the CPC officers visit and the families visit.
Mm. Got
So
it.
at the Man Company, we had a clear strategy of targeting the top 500 canteens across India.
Mm. Interesting. Yeah.
Right. Then all the while we also had a corporate sales business wherein you directly sell your products to different corporates,
Okay.
pharmacy companies, liquor companies. So because they cannot spend much on brandings
Mm.
or advertisements, they do a lot of gifting to their channel partners,
Mm.
right? Whether it is
Yeah.
doctors or the MRs or the pharmaceutical stores, right?
Mm.
In the liquor segment, whether it is consumers or to the liquor distributors or to liquor stores, they do a
Mm.
lot of gifting, right?
Mm.
And this giftings are huge,
Mm.
right? To give you an idea, at the Man Company, we used to do around maybe a crore, 2 crore sales every month.
Mm.
That big the channel is.
Got it. Got it. Just from
Yeah,
corporate sales.
just from corporate sales.
Wow, amazing. So there's so much in offline, right? Like where people can start from if any new brand is coming in. So there's a lot of options that they have, which is a great thing because in online also they have a lot of options like marketplaces, building website, but they are still limited to a certain extent, right? But in offline, there's so much to do, like different sizes of stores, chains, structure, like corporate sales, like there's so much to do.
True. Like for example, I spoke about the CSD and CPC canteens, right?
Hmm.
People would
Exactly.
think it maybe it would take crores of business, a lot of brand name to start the brand in CSD or CPC.
Hmm.
But if you're a newly started brand under Startup India, if
Hmm.
you're a brand less than 1 year, you can apply for CSD.
Okay, got it. Interesting.
So those kind of initiatives in government has taken. wherein a new brand can also get into CSD and CPC businesses.
And someone who doesn't come from an offline background, they probably wouldn't even know like what this is, right? That they can even get into this.
True, true. I mean, I know a lot of people who have worked for years within the offline industry, but still are not aware that there are some channels like CSD or CPC that exists.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So this is what you all did on Man Company side, right? Then you moved to Whiskers. So I don't want to take too much of your time because you've already gone past 30 minutes. But quickly run down like what did you guys do at Whiskers?
At Whiskers, basically, we wanted to make a retail first brand.
Mm-hmm.
So strategy was very clear that we only want to have retail presence and very less or non-discounted approach through the e-commerce model. So what we did was basically expanding Whiskers within the offline business. So now, again, when you see the in terms of price points, Whiskers price point is lower than the Man Company price points. First of all, it's a unisex brand. Second, the price points are more massier than that of, so the Man pricing are mastige and Whiskers pricing are massier, right? So here we did not approach the shopper stops and lifestyles of the world because it doesn't make a business sense for me also and neither for the retail partner also. So we start approaching directly the mass chains like Plansmart, More. There are chains like M Bazaar, Style Bazaar, which are very big in East India, having more than 150 outlets each. Right. So we got them into 3,000 stores within the first 3 months itself.
Wow.
So we got into chains like Wellness Forever
Hmm.
or Ratnadeep or
Hmm.
Ushodaya, Vijeta. So these last two chains are named are in South India, right? So we got them into modern trade stores, around 500 to 600 stores within South India, with 5 to 6 chains, around 500 to 700 stores within West India through Reliance and Wellness Forever, all the mass chains in North India and all the mass chains in East India.
Hmm. Got it.
Yeah, so we had a more focused modern trade approach over here because the first year vision was to get into modern trade, a very selected GT approach because GT is manpower heavy, right? So
Hmm.
we wanted to invest more on modern trade, cement that business in 1 year, and also go international.
Hmm.
So currently the brand is there in two countries now, UAE and the US. And in modern trade, they are there in 40 chains across India with 3,000 store presence.
Wow. Amazing. And you worked there for how many years?
I worked there for 1 year.
1 year. And you did all of this within 1 year. And they keep growing
Yeah,
after
most
after
of
that.
it was done within the first 6 months itself. And then rest 6 months, we were cementing the business.
Okay. So that was your entire Whiskers experience. So with let's say if there's some brand which is just starting out, and as you mentioned, like they have to get into offline at some point of the time, uh,
Hmm.
even if they are starting out with online. But let's say,
Hmm.
and they let's say raise a seed fund round, for example. When is that point when they should start getting into offline, even when they are focusing on online as well? At that point, when is the right moment?
Okay. So I think the right moment is day zero. Okay. So one of my friends recently started his brand called Liquid. It's into fragrances. Okay.
Hmm.
The day zero itself, he started the offline business.
Hmm.
And month you won't believe month one he has done a business of 40 lakhs.
Wow. Wow.
Wherein it will take you time to build a business on marketplace, on e-commerce for the brand to get for the consumers to get aware about the brand. In
Hmm.
offline, primarily जो दिखता है वो बिकता है.
Exactly. Yeah.
अगर आपकी पैकेजिंग अच्छी है, प्रोडक्ट अच्छा है, प्राइस पॉइंट अच्छा है,
Hmm.
तो ऑफलाइन से पिकअप होगा.
Hmm.
So what he did was he placed his brand at all the Rare Planet stores. So his
Hmm.
brand is Liquid, and today you
Hmm.
can see his products across all the Rare Planet. So Rare Planet is a souvenir antique store at all
Hmm.
the airports in India. Right? He got
Hmm.
in partnership with them, and he placed the products in all the 60 stores. Now,
mm.
for a new brand, right, with a masstige point price point, having a presence at 60 airports, right?
It's
Look at
huge.
the amplification of that brand that will have across India, because number of people traveling through airports nowadays is crazy, right?
Yeah,
I mean, Delhi airport has around what I think 3 to 4 lakh people traveling every day,
yeah,
right? Even if you catch 10% of eyeballs, right, you're actually having around 30 lakh people of 10 to 15 lakh people looking at your brand in a month's time. Now
exactly.
this
Which is
happening at,
very tough. Which is very tough
yes,
on online.
yes, yes. So he started with the 60 stores in the first month. This is the second month of his business, and he already started exporting to Singapore and UAE,
Wow, amazing.
because people coming to the airports are flying somewhere out. If they like the
Mm,
product, maybe they are some distributor, or maybe they have some store in that particular country, and they start importing your goods.
mm. Interesting.
That is what also what happened with us at the Man Company, right?
Mm,
We had presence at each and every airport across India through different store formats.
mm,
Like example, Guardian Pharmacy has presence at all the Delhi airport terminals,
mm,
right? There's a store chain called WS Smith, which is a convenience stores, which have stores at all the Kolkata airport terminals and Delhi airport terminals, right?
mm,
There's a chain called Bonware, which is owned by Adani. They have presence at all the Adani airports, right?
mm.
So now once you have presence over there, right? First of all, a brand that is placed at the airport is thought as a premium, considered as a premium brand. कि airport
Exactly.
पे available है.
Yes.
And yeah, so in terms of brand equity, brand positioning, the applications is a lot. Plus, your international consumers have also used it, so you get a lot of leads from there too.
Got it. Got it. So it makes sense for a lot of brands to start getting on offline as soon as possible. That's what you're basically saying from day zero,
True.
right? Exactly. So, Akash,
Yes.
thank you for doing this. It was amazing talking to you. You have a lot of experience in this offline sector, basically, and it is amazing to like pick your brain. Basically, I would like to do this again at some time because I have a lot of questions, but I don't want to take too much of your time. Also, I have a meeting within 20 minutes. So gotta get ready for that as well. But thanks for joining in. Thanks for sharing
Likewise.
your story.